Hi, this is Bio156, Chapter 4, A Tour of the Cell, Video 7 of 9.
In this video, we'll be discussing the energy-converting organelles. Specifically, we'll focus on the topic, mitochondria harvest chemical energy from food. We actually won't be covering these other sections which are in your textbook, that chloroplasts convert solar energy to chemical energy, and that mitochondria and chloroplasts evolved by endosymbiosis. These are fascinating topics, but because this course is focused on human biology, we'll stick with talking about mitochondria for now. Mitochondria, as you're probably familiar with, are the powerhouse of the cells. You've probably heard that phrase over and over again since elementary school, but it really is true. Mitochondria are responsible for breaking down food energy to produce ATP, which is the form of energy that your cell can use to power all of its functions. A quick note, the word mitochondrion that ends with an ON, this is the singular form that's referring to just one of these organelles, while the term mitochondria with an A is the plural. Now a mitochondrion, again, is an organelle that takes the energy in sugars from the food that you've eaten and stores it in the molecule adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. And mitochondria use a process called cellular respiration to do this. We'll be talking a lot about cellular respiration in Chapter 6. Some cells have a lot of mitochondria. What kinds of cells do you think might need a lot of these organelles? I'll let you continue to think about that, but it would probably be some cells that would need a lot of energy, right? Because mitochondria provide a lot of energy. So what cells in your body would need a lot of energy? Maybe ones that are doing a lot of work. Let's talk about the structure of the mitochondria. The mitochondria contain two membranes. They have an inner membrane that has a lot of folds or creases in it. And then they have an outer membrane that's a lot smoother. The space between these two membranes is called the intermembrane space. And then the space that's inside both of those membranes, this inner space, that's called the matrix. And both the matrix and the intermembrane space are really important in cellular respiration. We'll talk a lot more about that when we get to Chapter 6. Now notice that that inner membrane, it has all these folds and creases. Those folds actually have a special name. They're called cristae. And they have a special name because they have a special function within the mitochondria. They increase the surface area so that they can hold more protein molecules. The cristae contain protein molecules that are responsible for synthesizing or making ATP. So the more surface area we have, the more cristae we have, those folds, the more copies of these proteins we can have, and therefore the more ATP we can make. So those folds are a really important part of the mitochondria that contributes to its overall function of providing energy for the cell.
This is Lecture Quiz 5, Question 8. True or false? All living cells contain mitochondria.
In review, mitochondria are responsible for cellular respiration, which is the process of breaking down food to release energy in the form of ATP that your cell can then use to perform all its other functions. Let's do just one practice question for this section. The correct answer here is B, cristae. These folds in that inner membrane increase the surface area of the membrane, allowing more proteins to be embedded and thus enhancing the ability of the mitochondrion to produce ATP.
That concludes this part of the lecture. This has been Bio 156, Chapter 4, Video 7 of 9.